and welcome to a new vlog. It is July 6th. It is Thursday and day 6 of Nano, Camp Nano. And I am just very, very tired. So I'm coming in here to get some coffee and then I'm gonna sit back down. I'm not writing yet. It's just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just gonna get myself some coffee and then sit back down. I'm watching the Tour de France, stage 6, so that is interesting. I've got it paused for now because I didn't want to miss anything. They're in the Pyrenees, so it's the second kind of big mountain stage and probably one of the biggest mountain stages, or just one of the most iconic mountain stages they've had so far this tour, which is only 6 days, so it's still early. But yeah, they're doing the Col de Tourmalet today, and that's a good one, so I'm looking forward to that. But they're on their way up the Col d'Espagne. Pardon my French pronunciations of things, I know it's terrible. But yeah, so I'm letting myself basically watch today. It's just not a day when I think I'm going to get much done, so I'm just rolling with that, and I'm giving myself permission to just lay on the couch and watch the tour and relax and enjoy today's stage. I've done a little bit of posting on Instagram. I'm just relaxing today. I have been doing some stuff. I think while I go sit and watch the tour, I'll play what the last few days of Nano has been like, because I vlogged on the 2nd. I vlogged day 2, and then I didn't vlog day 3 or day 5, and day 4 was July 4th, so didn't really do anything. But I did vlog some snippets, tiny short snippets on day 3 and 5, so you can see where we're at. So I'm gonna take my large mug of coffee, which I have filled to the brim pretty much. You can see it there, it's at the top. So I'm gonna take this and go sit down and relax, but I will let you guys watch a little short montage of the last few days of Camp Nano. And then once I'm done with the tour, we'll do a proper writing update, book update, where we're at with everything. We're not quite a full week into July, but near enough, and I'm definitely not quite as far as I'd hoped I'd be, but I have been making progress. So we'll have a whole like regroup chat thing once I finish watching the tour today, and hopefully this coffee will have kicked in and I will be able to think straight and get some writing done today, because that would be nice. Okay, it's 5:05. I'm getting a very late start to book work today, but that's okay. It was an excellent stage in the Tour de France today, and it was worth watching just that and not trying to do too many other things. I tried doing some work in my project notebook, like just handwriting notes and ideas for the outline, and just started missing stuff, and I had to rewind and like rewatch. So I'm like, okay, everything else down, only focus on the race. So that's what I did, and it was really nice. But it is a challenge when you are a fan of something like the Tour de France that happens every July at the same time as being a writer that wants to do Camp NaNo in July. Like, both of these things can take a lot of time out of your day, but it was worth it today. I need to just start waking up earlier, which means I need to be better about going to bed earlier so that I have time to watch 4 or 5 hours of cycling and still have time to do all my book work. So, book updates, project updates, where are we at? I feel like I need a chart that I can put on the screen or something, like a progress chart. I probably should do that, make a progress chart, like just on a sheet of paper that I can update, like where I'm at. Where I'm at is not that far. Let's see, we've technically got four WIPs. Is that correct? We've got Royal Romance, which is doing its own thing, living its best life, slowly coming up last in line of everything. Not really worked on it, but Mom has finished reading it and gave me really positive feedback, and I've been thinking about that. I need to finish my Scrivener read through, which is one of my goals for, not to finish it this month, but just to keep working on it so that I can hopefully finish the Scrivener read through maybe by the end of August. I'm just slowly working on that. So that's project 1. We're kind of going in reverse order in terms of importance. I guess then Camp NaNo would be the least important. So we'll end with Camp NaNo, but of the 3 that have been ongoing so far, Royal Romance, of the 3 drafts, first drafts that I have, Royal Romance is the lowest on the list. So that means Across the Pond 4 would be next. That is going as well as it was the last time I mentioned it. I have not really made much progress, so I need to make a lot more progress. I'm still only partway through editing that. I'm on chapter 7 of that, so I'm only not even quite a third of the way, almost a third of the way. So I need to get back into that and get back working on that. Independent Hearts, I have finished my Kindle read through of that. I finished that last night. That was one of the clips in my little like last 3-day recap montage. I finished the read through of that yesterday. I'm not beating myself up for not working on it today. I'm meeting up with a friend tomorrow who has finished reading it. My mom, I think, is like halfway through finishing it, so I'll ask her more about it tomorrow when I see her in the morning, and then hopefully she'll finish it this weekend and we can talk some more. I figure it'll probably be better time-wise, like time management-wise in the long run, if I wait to start my Scrivener read through until I have at least their feedback as well. I'm still waiting to hear from my 3rd alpha reader, but the Kindle read through went well. The pacing overall, I think, is really good. I stayed up past midnight 3 nights in a row reading it. I couldn't put it down, and that's always a good sign. Like, other writers can let me know, like, if you've gotten to the stage in your work where you're reading back through a first draft and starting to edit it, do you also have that feeling of you can't put it down? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Like, I'd really be curious to know if other writers have that, but I really do get, when it's good, I've had drafts where it's like I'm reading back through it and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is such a mess. But these last couple books, Independent Hearts 3 and Across the Pond 4, as I've read through those drafts, I've just, like, I almost, not quite, but almost forget that I've written it, and I just get so swept up in the story that I want to keep reading to not to find out what happens next, because I know what happens next because I wrote it, but more that because I know what happens next, I want to keep reading because I know I'm getting to like a really big scene or a really pivotal scene or something like that, and I really want to read that scene because I remember how much fun I had writing that scene. I just get completely swept up in it and I want to keep reading. So I feel like that's still a good sign as far as the pacing. I don't really want to edit on the weekends, but starting on Monday, I will start my Scrivener read through, and I'm going to just kind of plow through the Scrivener read through of Independent Hearts. So that's going to be a huge focus for next week. Then yeah, then Camp Nano is going well. I am up to, if I can find the NaNoWriMo website, I am up to 3,503. So I didn't do any writing on July 4th. I took one day off for the holiday. I've been sticking right around the 600-ish, like within the 600s for 3 of the 4 days I've written so far. But Sunday, as you saw in the last vlog, I did get up to 1,563. So I'm maintaining I'm ahead of my average, because even with missing a day, I've still been writing. I've been trying to meet what my Scrivener goal is telling me, so I've been doing above the 484 words a day that Nano has been telling me I need. So I'm ahead as far as Nano is concerned. Nano's telling me I need 442 words, but because of that day off, thankfully all the writing I did over the weekend helped offset some of that, but Scrivener is still telling me I need 635. I would love it if by the time the semester starts, I have my Scrivener word count down to like 500 words a day, because I think during the semester while working, I can maintain an average of 500 words a day, even if it's like more of a, that'd be 2,500 words for a week, Monday through Friday. I think I can maintain 2,500, can't do math, 2,500 words a week, 500 words a day, Monday through Friday. I think even if I start writing on the weekends, I'd be able to maintain that average throughout the semester. Of course, then there's NaNoWriMo November. We'll talk about that. I kind of know what I'm doing and what my strategy for that is going to be. I'm not aiming for 50,000 words, I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, I'm still figuring out my strategy overall for Nano, but I will have a separate NaNoWriMo project on top of these 4, but I'm hoping by November, one of these projects, Independent Hearts 3, will be published by then. So I won't have 5 WIPs, I'll still only have 4. Anyway, so Nano's going well. Yesterday I took some time, I think I showed you a clip of this in the recap footage. I took some time to just clean up Scrivener a little bit, set some more goals. So I now have a goal of 1,000 words for each chapter, so I can see my current word count as well as the progress status bar, so that I know where in that I am and how close I am to that goal. I'm not even halfway there for even one of them. The most words I have in one chapter is 300. I've got my color coding sorted out. I've got some section types labeled, and I now have something written down on the index card for every chapter. I can like switch to corkboard mode in Scrivener and I can see everything. Babisco has now gotten fairly filled up. There are still some chapters that need a lot of work, like chapter 24 only has 4 words in it. Chapter 22 only has 9 words. Chapter 19 only has 30. So there are some chapters, like the latter quarter or the latter third of the book is still fairly minimal. I'm still working on a lot of that. It's coming along. I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling good about it. So I'm gonna get working. It's now almost 5:30 because I've been talking for nearly 19 minutes. This is what happens when I don't vlog my writing for a few days. We've got a lot to catch up on. But yeah, I'm also feeling very warm, so I'm gonna turn on my little fan that I have here. I'm gonna turn on my noise canceling headphones, because between the fan noises and the air conditioning, we are reaching that point in the summer when my noise sensitivity is kicking up into a higher gear. So I'm gonna use those today. Yeah. I'm just gonna focus on outlining. I'm not gonna focus on any other projects. It's too late for me to do any editing, so we're just gonna focus on outlining. that off for now. Oh, it feels so loud when I take these off. I've just been in my own little Bose bubble listening to some solo piano versions of Taylor Swift music. This Min's piano, I discovered it when it's been like over a week now, I think, and I'm obsessed. And I've decided solo piano is like the theme for this book, as far as like my writing music. So I've got the Taylor Swift stuff because my main character is also going to be a Taylor Swift fan, so I feel like this will work. But then I've also got some solo piano that I'm putting together on Epidemic Sound. So yeah, that's the music we're listening to today. Outlining is going well. I now have been focusing on the first few chapters. The first 5 chapters are now all over 250 words. Technically, so is chapter 6. I think I just didn't change that over. I was working on chapter 6, I think. Is that what I was working on? Yes, I was working on chapter 6, so that is now over 250 as well. I don't like developing any chapter too much more. Like, I wouldn't let a chapter get all the way to 1,000, like have one chapter be all the way to 1,000 words while another chapter only has 10 words. I try to get them all to a similar stage. So like right now I'm trying to get them all to 250 before I then take any to 500 or 1,000. So the next goal will be to get everything from 250 to about 500-ish, 500 to 600, and then everything from 500 to 600 up to 750. And then I'll see this, because this isn't going to be during camp. I'll be lucky if by the end of camp all of them are up to 500. So then over the course of the semester, the fall semester, I'll work on getting them above 500 and to like 750 to 1,000. And I'll decide if I want to start writing, if I want to wait until they're all up to 1,000 to start writing, or if I want to start writing while some of them are still at like 750. I feel like for me, having each chapter be between 750 and 1,000 is the sweet spot. I have started writing books while they were still below 750. I think Independent Hearts, they were only up to like 500 each. Might have even been less than that. I just dove straight into writing and I made it work. It definitely was more of a challenge. There were some chapters that were a little bit harder that I had to stop and think, okay, looking at the outline, what exactly am I writing here? Because it just wasn't as developed as usual. So I think for this one, I'm going to let myself do more of that super outline of like 1,000 words per chapter. I've just been watching videos while working. It's been less than an hour, getting up to 637 words. I think I'm going to do a little bit more because I'm just kind of on a roll and having fun. I want to do a little bit more writing, and then we'll talk about some other book stuff, including what I am currently reading that's not someone else's book. So a little hint there. I've started rereading A Brave Start. We will talk about that in a moment, but let me try to get a little bit further in this. I would really love it if I could get up to 1,000 words today. So that's a little over 300 words from where I'm at, about 370. So, but this has been going faster than I thought. It's 6:30, so I do need to stop for dinner at some point, but dinner is really easy. I've still got 4th of July leftovers. So I think I can keep working until at least 7 o'clock. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to writing. I'm gonna try to do chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9 is good, so chapter 10 and 11. See if I can get those 4 chapters up to 250 words, and that should put me up or at or over 1,000 words for the day. Okay, I'm done writing for the day. I did 1,079 words. I realized I haven't been keeping track with my writing tracker in the Heart Breathing's July Camp NaNo workbook, so need to get that sorted out. I'll do that before I stop for dinner. I am starting to feel ready for dinner, so that's good. But I can switch this color coding to yellow. I think now, yes, the first 11 chapters are all at or over 250 words. The longest one so far is chapter 4 at 336. So most of them aren't that much over 250, but they're all over 250. So tomorrow I will probably try to get the next few. I don't know how much writing I'm going to do tomorrow. We'll see. I've got a busy day planned, but other reading that I'm doing and other project update, so to speak. I have started rereading the first 3 books in the Across the Pond series. So I'm currently rereading Across the Pond 1, which is A Brave Start. And that is an interesting experience. I don't even know where to start or how to explain this. It is a very odd reading that book. This is the first time that I'm reading that book since I published it at the end of 2019. So the last read through I would have done would have probably been sometime in November. Would have probably been November 2019, would have probably been when I was doing the final proofread before doing all the formatting, and I would have kind of been skimming things during the formatting phase because that was the book that I formatted in Word. The one and only time that I have formatted a novel using Microsoft Word, I made sure to have vellum before I did book 2. So yeah, it's been a while since I've read through this. It's been quite a while since I've read through this, and like, it's making me a little anxious. I really need to just adjust my mindset and adjust my perspective and remind myself that I'm just reading it to remind myself of what happens and what I've said about previous characters. Like, I'm just reading it to help me with continuity issues for book 4 and now book 5, because I've mentioned all of these characters that I'm working with as early in the series as book 1, and then I know I discussed them more in book 2 and even more in book 3, and there's little things that I've referenced that I know I need to remember that I don't remember. So I'm starting to highlight a lot of things, like every time I describe a character or something, I put it down, I highlight it, and so I can then open up my notebook in my Kindle and I can see everything I've highlighted. So I think when I'm done reading, I'll go back and open up the notebook and just type up a lot of the notes and things that I need to know, and then I can have that all in Scrivener somewhere to help me. So like, I need to just keep in mind why I'm reading it, and I'm putting on my editor hat. And I need to not do that, because that's not why I'm reading it. I'm not editing book 1. Book 1 is done. It's out. It's published. I will probably do a second edition at some point in the future, but that's not why I'm reading it right now. And I will do a separate read through when I go back and I'd like to do all of the books as second editions sometime down the road, do new covers for them. Like, this is a long-term goal I have for that series, is to unpublish them from Amazon and then republish them as second editions and publish them wide. And I'm just not at a stage in my author career yet where I can handle publishing them wide. But that is a dream one day, to buy my own ISBNs, publish them wide, publish all my books wide as second editions, redo the cover, maybe do like an author interview at the back and an expanded author's note at the back, like extra back matter kind of a thing. Just do a big polish, because I know I know I'm a better writer now, and I know I'm a better editor now than I was when I first did the first book. I can, as I'm reading the first few chapters, I'm only a few chapters in, but as I'm reading it, like, I can see all the things I would do differently now. And so I don't want to redo the plot, and I'm too far into, and I'm not that far in to see if there's any big issues with the plot. And I don't think there are. I was always pretty happy with the plot. It's a very nerve-wracking experience to go back and read these books, but I know I need to do it, and I know it's important and it's valuable, so I'm doing it. It is weird because as I'm rereading these first few chapters, it's not flashing me back to 2019 and where I was as I was editing them. It's flashing me back to like 2012, and yeah, it's very odd because I did take so long to write that book, and I can feel that as I'm rereading it. And I think I also have to remind myself of this, that like, I am going to read this book in a completely different way than an objective reader is going to read that book. And I have so many people who've told me that it's their favorite book of mine, or it's, you know, the first book of mine that they read, and it's what got them into reading my other books. It's got the most reviews and the most ratings, and it's still a solid 5-star. So like, people like this book. So I'm just looking at it in a very, very different way because I just have so much time invested in it. It's making me think of where my life was at all the different stages that I was writing it. And these first few chapters, you know, they were the first ones that I wrote all the way back in 2012. And then I spent the next several years working on it. So it's I'm hoping book 2 and book 3 won't be as difficult to read because those are much more recent books. But yeah, book 1 is it is a mind trip for me. I don't think it's that way for anyone else, but just because of my personal experience with that book, it has been very, very odd just starting this reread. So I'm trying to read it quick. Like, I'm trying to read it slow enough to catch all the things I need to catch and all the notes I need to make, but read it fast enough that I don't stop and get bogged down by all the nostalgia and all the memories and all the things that it's bringing up. Because some of the things it's bringing up are positive and some are less so. And it's gonna keep happening as I read through it, because my life changed so drastically from 2012 to 2018, 2019. Like, from when I started writing it to when I published it, that was the bulk of my 30s. That was almost the entirety of my 30s. My life was just a roller coaster in my 30s. There were so many ups and so many downs, and the highs were so high and so amazing. Like, several, quite a few trips to London, including 2 long extended summers where I spent the entire summer overseas. Like, summer 2014 was just, I felt like I was living in a novel myself. And summer 2015 was also just unbelievable in so many ways. I started my PhD, I graduated with my PhD, like, I got my heart broken in the middle of all of that. Like, working on, the life that I was living during the time that I was writing book 1, that was a journey. And so all of that stuff, I think, it's already coming up as I'm just rereading the first few chapters, and I think it's going to continue to do that. And I'm not sure I'm mentally or emotionally strong enough to handle all of the personal nostalgia that is coming up as I am reading this book. So I need to get through this one quickly, because I think the other 2 will be a little bit easier because they were written faster and much more recently. So yeah, that's that's been what I've been reading. But it is now 7:07. I do need to eat dinner soon, but I want to get everything in my tracker updated before I forget. I need to get caught up because I've been updating my personal just like my monthly tracker for all my projects, but I've not been doing the Camp NaNo workbook tracker. So I need to update that. Then I need to have dinner and relax. I've got a lot of YouTube to watch tonight. Yeah, I just need to start shutting my brain down because I do need to go to bed early-ish tonight because I've got a busy day tomorrow. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to do some planner work and then get dinner heating up and then relax. And we'll enjoy a nice cozy evening tonight. Okay? Okay. Okay, it is 9:30, just about. There we go, now I'm back in focus. I'm tired, but I'm happy. It's a good evening so far. Yeah, so it's been a lovely evening. I've had dinner. I'm going to have some cake. I've got leftover sheet cake from the 4th of July, so I'm gonna have a piece of that and watch one more YouTube video, and then I will get in bed. I want to do some reading and then I need to go to sleep. But yeah, I've just been watching YouTube and chilling out. The Taylor Swift, or Taylor's, I can't even speak tonight. Speaking of speaking, Speak Now, Taylor's version is officially downloaded onto my phone, so that's exciting. Maybe because it's midnight and officially Friday in New York, that's why it's downloading onto my phone. I don't know. The same thing happened with Ed Sheeran's Subtract album. That also was on my phone Thursday night, the night before the Friday it was supposed to be out. So yeah, either way, I'm excited, and this is what I'm going to be listening to on repeat basically for the next week or so, I'm sure. I do want to get in bed sooner rather than later because I will probably start listening to that tonight while I get ready for bed and while I read and stuff. So but I'm going to try not to stay up late finishing listening to it tonight. It's been a really lovely day. It's very relaxing, which is good because I've just been so tired all day. And I could feel it now too. Like, I can't stop yawning. It's not that late. It's only 9:30. Like, huh. But I'm that tired right now, and I kind of know why. It's like if I say I don't know why I'm so tired, that's kind of a lie, because like I do. I'm just always tired, but it just feels like it's more than usual, and that's a little bit frustrating. And I know, looking at my sleep stats, I know I've not been sleeping very well. My body just, my brain especially, I just can't function when I'm not sleeping, and it's not fun. That didn't stop me from having a really, I don't want to say weird dream. I had a very specific dream the other night that basically has now given me the idea for a trilogy of books that I honestly need to write it down, because I don't want to forget this one. I think this could be fun to write. And it's like, I don't need more ideas. I don't need more ideas, but it was so vivid And it was so specific and detailed, and then my brain just kept going when I woke up. Like, as I was getting ready that morning, I just kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it. It was like, okay, the bit that I had in the dream, that would actually be book 2. So book 1 would have to be this other stuff, and then book 3 would be this other stuff. And I've got like a rough idea of what each of the 3 books in the trilogy would be, and I really like the idea. Like, it's a really intriguing idea, but I don't need another idea. This is the problem. Like, whenever people ask me, oh, where do you get your ideas from? Usually because they're like, I don't know how you've written this many books. Like, how do you get that many ideas? And it's like, I don't know exactly where the ideas come from. They come from all over. A lot of them do come from dreams. A lot, even more so, are, you know, inspired by just things that happen in my life, or just wishes that I have. Like, oh, what if I can move to London and study writing, and I just happened to bump into my celebrity crush and he fell in love with me. FYI, that is the plot for A Brave Start. You know, that's where it's that question of like, what if this wild situation happened to me, and then I write a book about it? So like, I always say, ideas aren't my problem. Getting ideas is not the problem. I get ideas all the time. The problem is time to write all those ideas, and having this dream and getting this idea for this other book. It's just really highlighting this increasingly legitimate fear I am developing that I will die before I can write all these stories. Because I could probably literally, if we include all the series ideas I currently have, all the ones I'm currently writing, plus the series I'm not currently writing but have ideas for, and all the books that would be in these series, I could literally have a list of 40 books that I could write. At least 40. Probably 50 or 60. Because like Independent Hearts, just of what I've thought of, I know I've outlined that series in my head in terms of like what business and which person. Easily 10 books in that series. Across the Pond, I'm up to 7 books for sure, but I know I could do 8, 9, and 10 easily. Royal Romance is definitely 3, but easily could be 6, 7, or 8. And the thing is as I get close to what I think is the end, or like close to like I know that with Across the Pond, by the time I get through book 7, I will have ideas for books 8, 9, and 10. By the time I get to book 10 of Independent Hearts, I will have ideas for books 11 through 15. Like, these could just keep going. So just of the ideas I currently have, plus there's my 5-book fantasy series that I've written book 1 for and then haven't really touched. There's now this trilogy that I've thought of. There's another at least 3-book, like it's at least going to be a trilogy fantasy series. Like, so there's fantasy books. I've got like, then there's that other series that would probably be 4 or 5 books. So yeah, we're like a dozen fantasy novels, and then yeah, like 30 or more romance novels. So ideas aren't my problem. And time to write them, that's my problem. So it's like, it's not that I'm afraid I'm gonna die before I write them all because I'm afraid I'm gonna die in a couple years. It's like, even if I live until I'm 100, I might not write all of them before I die, because it's like, as soon as I publish one book, 5 other book ideas have popped up into my head. Like, I literally cannot write and publish these things fast enough. And the fear gets aggravated, or like is increased by the fact that like I know, and like today was one of those days where I could really feel it. Like, I know my cognitive ability just isn't what it used to be. I don't know. It's why on days like today, I have to just let myself lay on the couch and watch the Tour de France if that's all my brain feels like doing, because I can't force myself to work anymore. And I'm trying to just accept right now that if if Independent Hearts doesn't get edited, if I can't get it published until the end of the year or the beginning of next, like if things just get delayed, then they get delayed, and books will get published when they get published. Like once I'm able to get through the editing and then the copy editing and blah 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 and all of that, then you know it'll come out when it comes out. But I have to put my brain and my brain health first, basically. So yeah, it's been a very interesting night. I've been thinking about a lot of different things, as well as thinking about nothing at all. So I'm going to get back to thinking nothing at all. I'm going to get myself a piece of cake. I'm going to sit down on the couch. I'm going to watch one more YouTube video and then do a bit of reading and then go to sleep. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. All of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Leave me a teacup. I don't know if it's a teacup or a coffee cup, but there's like a mug, a white mug with something resembling tea or coffee. Leave me that teacup slash coffee cup, because I'm looking at my tin of breakfast tea here in front of me in the kitchen. So that can be our emoji of the day, a teacup slash coffee cup, because I'm in front of my coffee station. Since this is going up on Monday, let me know how your weekend was. What did you do? Did you have any fun? How's your Camp NaNo writing going? If you're doing Camp NaNo, did you write over the weekend? Did you take the weekend off? Let me know. Or just, yeah, general weekend fun and shenanigans. What did you get up to? I'm gonna go. I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!